All T, no shade. Tony L and J. What type of tea they serving? Is it Lipton? Probably the type that Kermit be sipping. Take your mouth and start to clicking. This dope trio delivering substance with subjects that's busting. Make you wanna join the discussion. Real people, real topics with a little bit of gossip. Out in the Bay, ripping 8-1 trade. It's all T, no shade. All T, no shade.
Welcome, welcome, welcome.
What's up?
Welcome to All Tea No Shade, where we are serving tea without the shades.
Like we always motherfucking do.
Hey. So pull up a seat and let's start sipping.
Let's get it. It's gonna be a great episode.
Sipping, what are you sipping today, yo?
I am sipping on some Brooklyn Beanery Forget About It chocolate coffee.
I was going to actually try to get you some coffee, and I thought about it. I was like, Elle is one of those complicated people with her coffee. So I was like, you know what? I'll take that. I renege that offer. She's the worst.
I'm drinking the same thing L's drinking. I had a little bit of pumpkin spice cream inside of it. Actually, there's some pretty good coffee. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And I am sipping on some Dunkin' Donuts medium-sized iced coffee, French vanilla caramel with a little bit of sugar. We got to make sure you got to swirl it up a little bit.
Wow.
To our sippers out there, what are you sipping on today? Write us. Let us know what you're sipping on so we can try to enjoy what you're enjoying also, okay?
Absolutely.
All right. Let's go ahead and get into our sponsor.
All right. So our sponsor this week is by Degrees of Success. They will help reduce your student loan payments, complete
Lord knows. I need that.
complete consolidations, remove you from default, increase your credit score, and now they are offering credit monitoring and protection, identity theft insurance, unemployment insurance, provide tax services, and so much more. So set up a free call with them by going to www.degreesofsuccessinfo.com. Click on contact to schedule your free call today.
If you guys don't mind me saying, actually, her name is Jen Dobson. I talked to her probably about 2 months ago about my student loans. And even though she couldn't, I didn't have as much as to get a lot of assistance with, she did give me some good information that really helped me with my student loans. So I would tell anybody out there, give her a call. She would do a good job for you.
I think this day and age, everyone has some student loan debt or even credit remonitoring, that's needed.
Child, before I went to my secondary
Plus, she's kind of cute,
school,
too. I'm sorry, I had that in there.
I
That part.
had no student loans. So
You said before what?
before I went to school again, like went back to school, I had no student loans. If I knew what I knew now. All right, guys. If you want to be a sponsor of All Tea No Shade, we have a holiday special going on for the month of December and this last little bit of November. So go ahead and hit us up at allteanoshadepodcast@gmail.com. That's allteanoshadepodcast@gmail.com. All right, guys. How the hell was your week?
Go ahead, T. How was your week,
Man, I had a good week.
Yeah?
I had some of that good old turkey.
Oh,
some
man.
baked mac and cheese, some mashed taters,
Some mashed taters.
collard greens.
Hey.
And a friend of mine tried to give me some pumpkin pie. And I'm like, girl, I am black. I don't need no damn pumpkin pie. Give me some of that sweet potato pie.
You
You,
don't
know?
like, you a sweet potato guy with pumpkin pie? I think I like pumpkin pie.
I like them
Man,
both.
what is my skin color? I'm sorry. I was
High yellow.
Ooh, but you like it, don't you, girl?
No.
We ain't gonna get started today with that. But no, I love some sweet potato pie, man. Some good stuff.
Yeah, how was your week?
My week was pretty good, actually. You ever had a moment where you got to, you just are so grateful? I love to live for those moments. And so I had a moment where I was, driving back from Thanksgiving, and I was just like, thank God for my family, for my friends, but especially for my family. It is a kind of a crapshoot, You could end up with terrible parents or amazing parents or somewhere in between. And I just ended up with rock stars. So
That's good.
Really grateful.
That's good. So, my week has been great. Thanksgiving at TJ and Elle had just mentioned was a great time. I got to spend time with my friends and later that day with my family. But I noticed something about myself lately that I get a little sad sometimes during the holidays.
Why?
And I think it's because sometimes the family dynamic is not always where you want it to be.
Right.
And so I feel myself getting kind of tied or pulled in different directions. So I found myself a little sad, and I looked up some stuff, and holiday depression is a real thing.
No, for sure.
You know what I mean?
It is.
Especially for us, like people who don't have children, haven't created their own families, this is the time when you actually like. This is the one time where I'm like, damn, I really should have some kids.
Yeah.
It's like the only time, right? Because in the summer I'm in my bathing suit on the beach, just chilling,
Having a good time.
right? But like in the holidays, all my friends who are my age are like posting pictures or sending me pictures of their like
family, kids,
really adorable children. So I get it.
And actually, that's true. I just had, well, normally during this time of year, I get a lot more clients at this time of year. And a lot of them are dealing with loneliness.
Absolutely.
Okay. And as I talk to them, a lot of times it's come from this time of the year, from Thanksgiving and also from Christmas and not being around family and having close time with family and friends. And a lot of times, it's a true problem that we have out there.
Absolutely.
So we must address that and look into that a little bit more.
Yeah, so I know I was, and so I found really quick 7 tips to help avoid holiday anxiety and depression. So anyone out there, the sippers who may have been feeling a little a little sad like myself this week, or for December, for Christmas, 10 tips really quick. I said 7, but 10. 1, acknowledge your feelings. 2, reach out. 3, be realistic. 4, set aside differences. 5, stick to a budget. We always spend money that we don't really have. 6, plan ahead. 7, learn to say no to things that maybe you don't want to go to or people are trying to push things on you. Just say no. 8, don't abandon healthy habits. 9, take a breather. And 10, seek professional help if you need it. All right.
Good
so
tips.
That was my week.
Those are great.
You know
tips.
what? You should post those. Matter of fact, post those on our Facebook and IG page also.
I will.
Good job.
All right. And if you want to see them, go head to our Instagram at All Tea No Shade Podcast. And on our Facebook, we are All Tea No Shade. All right, guys. It's my favorite segment.
Your favorite segment that you've been stumping us the last couple weeks.
Yeah, buddy. I've been waiting. All right. We are to our Who Am I?
Who am I? Them girls, them sugar.
The guys, them sugar. All right. So this one I think will be a pretty short one.
We're going to find out.
All right, he's 22, born in New York, hip hop, known as a SoundCloud rapper.
22, New York.
His bodyguard
SoundCloud.
just got shot.
Ooh.
The 9 guy. Tekashi?
Tekashi 6ix9ine?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He said it first.
I'll give it to
I'm going to give it to
Yeah,
TJ.
I said
TJ.
yeah.
He said Tekashi.
Tekashi 6ix9ine. So Tekashi 6ix9ine is known for being a troll. He's known for like telling known like gang members to roll up on him and kill him and going to their hood.
Yeah.
And he has been shot at like in the last month. He's been shot at twice. He's just been,
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't know he got shot
Yep.
at.
And one of his bodyguards actually got shot. And then also he just got indicted
I did see that.
and he for federally in a federal case which might lead him to having life in prison. So
Wow.
apparently he's part of, or allegedly he's part of some gang that was into racketeering and other illegal activities. And Tekashi 6ix9ine, now that he's gotten famous, was pulling back from it. But in typical Tekashi 6ix9ine troll mode, instead of just pulling back and being quiet, he started trolling the guys who was in it before, which created all this extra drama. So Tekashi 6ix9ine, I mean, I don't know which is better or worse because the way he's going right now, if he stays out, I feel like they shooting at this kid. Like, but if he goes to jail, he might be go for a really long time.
He I saw that he actually came out and said that he's not actually a gangster and that he only did it to make money off social media
he's
and
gonna
whatnot.
say that now.
So now he's saying, I'm like, but was he really a gangster though?
I don't know. I honestly never thought he was until these federal, like, because the federal government, the FBI is not going to just put a case on you, especially this amount, without any evidence whatsoever. So at some level, I think this actually gives him more credibility than anything.
Yeah, I didn't really think he was a gangster.
I never.
But maybe, I guess in my mind, I have two different images of gangster, but I guess they're all tied together. Like in my mind, I guess racketeering is a form of like the mob bosses and mafia and stuff like that. But when I think about gang, I think about Bloods and Crips and stuff like that with shooting and gang violence and stuff like that. So
I feel you.
All right.
All right. So I actually think that this puts TJ
up 1 zip. Could we start it
one
over?
zip.
We start it
So
over.
That's
TJ's
what's up.
currently winning.
For the first time in a year,
That's
I
okay.
am losing.
And see, now with my 1 win, I now quit. Thank you. I'm the winner.
Yeah.
Done. All right.
Don't get used to it. Don't get used to
Ooh.
it.
I'm done, man. You going against
coming
L
back.
now. I won.
I'm coming back.
They
the
say no they
champion.
should. All right, let's go ahead into our listener shout out. Who we shouting out today,
So
Jay?
actually, this week we're gonna give a shout out to all the sippers who follow
Yes.
us because we are
Sip.
now over 1,000 likes on our Facebook page.
Yes.
We reached over 1,000. I think we're at 1,015. So we are definitely growing there, and then we have almost 600 followed on the gram. So please go
All right.
follow us on both pages because we definitely cannot do this without you sippers, and we appreciate all of you who listen to us.
Definitely.
Yeah, so if you're trying to find us, if you want to be a listener shout out, or you just want to give us some love or see some stuff that we posted about the content that we talk about each week, you can find us on Facebook at the page All Tea No Shade. We also have a group called All Tea No Shade Friends and Family, I believe is what
All
it's called.
Tea No Shade Podcast and Friends.
Podcast and Friends. Excuse moi.
No, you good.
And we also can find us on Instagram at All Tea No Shade Podcast. And once again, feel free to always email us at allteenoshadepodcast@gmail.com. But please, 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 please add us on social media. What's your handles, guys?
Please. My handle on Instagram is J_Noetic. Facebook, the J Noetic. Pretty much anything J Noetic. On Twitter is J, the letter J, Noetic. So anything you put in there, you'll only find. Look for the bald head guy with the beard, right? You got it.
That's like every black man at this
Ooh,
moment.
that's true.
Mine is Abeyo Life, ABEYO LIFE, Abeyo Life on IG, and also on Facebook at Abeyo, ABEYO. Join me, like me, as well as everybody else on here.
He is also a bald head guy with a beard, so I'll take back my comment.
Mm.
Oh my God, I hate
what's your
you.
social?
On Facebook, I'm L Edwards, ELLE Edwards. I'm the one with that's dipping. And
That's your what?
I'm dipping.
What do you mean?
My profile picture. I'm
Oh, you're
currently-
like this, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna
okay.
dip.
I just lean back.
And Instagram, I am Caramel, like the toffee, and my first name L, so Caramel L.
Why was every username in the early 2000s the women caramel something?
Mm-hmm.
Were they?
It was like caramel chocolate or caramel cutie or caramel from
Yeah,
Georgia. It was always, I used to always search for them girls. Oh, caramel.
Oh my God, get out of here. All right, guys. Well, congratulations, TJ.
No, we're not congratulating that.
Thank you.
No.
Thank you. I'll accept this.
All right, guys. Let's go ahead and move
That
on
sounds
to
about right.
That Sounds Familiar.
All right, sippers, you know what the deal is. But
My
if
least
it's your
favorite.
first time, it's your most favorite. If it's your first time listening to All Tea No Shade podcast, I am about to play 5 songs for L and TJ. They are competing against one another, and they're also competing against you. You
Yes.
want to try to guess these songs before they guess them. They can range anywhere from the 90s up until current day. All right. All you need to know is either the name or the title of the song. All right.
Okay.
I think last week our guest actually won.
Clarence did a good
Clarence
job.
won.
Yeah.
Whatever.
And so it's going to be 0-0 starting fresh for this. Oh, also, you can find all these songs on the All Tea No Shade Spotify playlist because we don't own these
TJ,
songs.
let's clink to this.
Yeah, anybody trying to clink.
We ain't trying to clink with you.
All right. That's some good coffee, y'all.
I got a
Seriously.
plastic cup. All right, so this first song came out in 2014.
You ready, y'all?
I'm ready.
Stop praying over there.
I got some
I
good
do all
songs
things
for
through
y'all.
God in prayer. Damn it, I know this song. Adele? No.
Nope. Sippers, do you know the name of this song?
Oh, I know this. And
TJ,
it's my
you don't know it?
jam.
No.
It's a great song.
It's so good. Damn it. Sam Smith.
Yep.
Yes.
Who?
Sam Smith. I freaking love him.
I didn't know. I played
He's like the white
Good one.
Luther.
No.
I've seen him.
His,
I've,
Sam
his
is nice.
voice is so
I've
amazing.
does have
listened
a
to
good
him
voice,
doing
yes.
Luther, and he's like the white Luther, the white British Luther.
So the name of the song is "I'm Not the Only One" by Sam Smith. So Sam Smith lists 2 women artists as his main influences. Who do you think they are?
Adele and Lady Gaga.
Adele is one.
Lady Gaga,
No,
Beyonce.
Beyonce,
no.
Whitney Houston.
She's passed away.
Whitney Houston.
Oh no, but yeah, she passed away to Amy Winehouse.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. Yeah.
'Cause you know he's from London, so it
Yes,
makes sense
right,
that
yeah,
his
yeah.
2 influences are from there. All right, so L has
Good
one.
one, though. Good one.
All right, this next song,
Okay.
Sippers, hopefully you guessed it first. This next song came out in 2003. Don't be cheating, T.
I'm not cheating. I'm looking this way. I'm not looking at the thing.
Be quick on this. It's a popular song.
Usher.
Oh, I hate this.
Boom,
Ludacris?
boom.
No.
Wow, Sipper. They don't know this song. This is a
I
classic.
already know what it
Andre
is.
3000.
I'm not saying anything. It's,
No,
it's a group.
It is
Outkast.
Outkast.
She beat you to
Yep,
it.
yep,
She
yep,
beat
yep.
you to it.
I knew it was Outkast, but I kept saying Andre 3000.
I knew it was
like,
Andre.
Big Boy.
And he's Andre's part of it, but
Right.
that's
It's
not
not
the
the name,
It's
yeah.
not the name. All right, so this is The Way You Move. Came out in 2003. What was the name of Outkast's very first song that reached number 1 on the Billboards? It came out like 92, 93. It's called The Players Ball. You remember that song?
No.
Wow. All right. 2-Zip.
I know,
Oh
I
my
know,
goodness.
I know, man.
Oh
I
my
know.
goodness.
She's a little bit fast on that one. I knew that one, but she got the Sam Smith one, but Outkast.
Man, T, you need this one.
Can we just go on, man? You rubbing it in, man.
All right. And this next song,
Hurting me.
you need this to stay alive. It came out in 1997, so she was a little
Wow.
young buck, so she might not get this one.
Wow.
But she was old enough to know
That's good music back then.
it was. So you better get it. Here
Let's
we
try
go.
this.
Janet Jackson.
Nope.
Mariah Carey. Boyz II Men. Tony Braxton. Brandy.
Nope.
No.
Sitting on top of the world.
No.
Nope.
SWV. Tell me what you want from me.
Correct. But it's Mace. It's Mace. And this Mace song, Tell Me What You Want, featuring Total.
What's the next segment of the show right here? Because I'm tired of this.
Wow. Well, we're gonna keep on going just because the Sippers might be ahead, but TJ, you have officially lost.
I know.
That
man.
sounds
This
familiar.
is not my part of the show.
But try to see if you can make it decent. We got 2 songs to go. See if you can make it decent. It won't be a shutout. Don't let L shut you out, homie. This next song came out in 1995, and it's featuring someone.
Diddy.
Biggie. Small.
Biggie's in it. It's not his song though. Keep going. It's not his song.
Mace. Lloyd.
He's featured in the song, but it's not his song.
Face.
Nope. Good guys. Keep going. You know it's
Lil'
you,
Kim?
you know it's part of Bad Boy. No.
What's the girl name?
Foxy Brown.
Nope.
No.
Charlie.
No. She got her face done.
Zipper. So you know who it is.
Lil' Kim.
It's a
I
group.
said
It's
Lil'
a group.
Kim.
It's a group. It's a girls group. I'll give you a hint. It's a girl
That's those
singing
3
group.
girls, yeah.
SW.
No. What's that damn name? Black. No.
They are black.
No. What's that name?
I just mentioned
I
the
can
name.
see them. I can see them.
They don't know it. Zipper. So you know what it is.
Wait,
So-
let me hear. Wait, let me hear the
Slim.
chorus. Total.
Total.
Correct.
That's it. Think of that name.
Wow. All right. What's it? What? Go
Nothing,
ahead.
man. I hate this because
You should
it's
see
like
TJ's
right there.
face right now.
It's like I know these songs like
Yeah.
God
The
damn
classic
it, what
songs.
is it? Yeah. Man.
All right,
Total.
one last one. One last one. Don't get shut out, T. Don't get shut out. L is ready. She's trying to shut you out, bro. This song came out in 2012.
She got this one.
Pharrell.
No, the short guy.
How do y'all not know this song?
Bruno Mars.
Correct.
That's why I said the short guy. I
Correct.
couldn't think of his damn name. That's why I said the short guy.
I don't actually like Bruno Mars.
No, soon as I heard it.
Wow. 5-zip.
You know what?
5-zip.
Sippers, honestly. It's funny. I know music like that real good, but doing this way, for some reason, I just kind of like freeze up. And I know, like I said, as soon as it came out, I
All
said the
these
short guy.
excuses.
No,
I'm so
what did I say?
disappointed.
I said the short guy, right? I knew who
did.
it was, but couldn't think of his damn name.
That could have been Miguel. That could have been CeeLo.
Could have been
I mean,
Usher.
everybody is short in the music.
No, but you won one. I won one. All right. So Jay, only one that is the winner here is you. Okay.
They don't,
So
that don't count.
no, it doesn't matter. You won. She won this one. I won the other one. Well, who am I?
Oh, okay.
Okay, so that's it. At least I got to win.
You got to win so far.
I got to turn my negative into a positive.
Bruno Mars recently donated a certain amount of Thanksgiving dinners to the Salvation Army. How many do you think he donated?
1,000,
Higher.
5,000,
Higher.
10.
Higher.
20.
Higher.
100.
25.
Not that much. 24,000.
Wow.
He
Great.
donated 24,000 Thanksgiving dinner to the Salvation Army, and that is amazing.
I hope that all families were blessed from those dinners right there.
I hope so. All right, sippers. That sounds familiar. Is complete. L is the champion.
Thank
Hopefully you
God.
defeated it. L, what do we have next?
All right, guys, let's go ahead and move into the sip of the day.
That should be a good topic. The sip of the
Sip,
day.
sip, y'all. So today we are talking personal evolution. What does that mean to you? What actions does that create in your habits? So I guess the first thing is, what does personal evolution mean to you?
For me, personal. I ain't even been drinking. Personal evolution to me just means changing, progressing yourself forward. If you can, obviously you can change in the negative as well, right? But I know for me, I look at growth as something very, very serious. I want to get better. How can I become a better human being, not only for myself but for my friends as well? And so it's changing your beliefs that you no longer believe in. It's doing actions that you don't want to be a part of anymore. Maybe you're a bad spender on credit or on money. Just trying to get better. That's, to me, is what evolution means, because we're always evolving. T, what's your thought on it?
It's basically becoming the person that you truly are. Okay, because there's a big distinction between personal development and also personal evolution.
What's the distinction?
Well, personal development basically deals with your growth. With goals. It's more goal oriented. Okay, you're developing. You're setting goals for yourself to develop into those areas right there. Personal evolution is becoming the person that you truly are. And yes, change does occur in this, but it occurs naturally. Okay, so as you change yourself, you're evolving. Not like you do in personal development. You're still changing, but you're setting those goals for yourself initially to get to that point in life.
That's not all tied together, though.
Like I said, it's a distinction there.
Yeah.
It's like distinction, but they're very closely
Yeah.
related to each other.
Elle, go ahead. I don't want to continue without you saying yours first.
I think for me, if I could sum it up or make it short, personal evolution personally is continuous improvement. It's like kind of what Jay said is I think what people don't realize is that when you can change for the worse.
Absolutely.
And so you need to be mindful of how you're changing so that you are mindful that you're changing for the better. And so for me, personal evolution is improvement through living, continuous improvement through life. It's trials and tribulations. I think every time you're tested, it goes to your character a little bit, right? Every time you are in a situation where you can be selfish or self-centered, or you can just, be shady or whatever the case is, or petty, right? We all are focusing or we all laugh about the petty memes, whatever the case is. And every time you make the decision to not be, that's a way that you're improving. And so to me, personal evolution is to grow and to become an adult and to get away from a lot of those childlike or teenage-like behavior.
I think for me, I want to touch on what TJ said. He said it's becoming who you are. I don't know if we actually know who we are, and I think that we are always trying to grow towards who we think we are. Meaning, like, I know for me at 25, that's when I first started realizing the kind of man I wanted to be. Now, that doesn't mean I knew like who I was going to be. I just said, okay, I know where I'm at right now, and I don't necessarily care for where I am, and I want to become a better person. What kind of person do I want to be? Well, I want to be a positive person. I want to be a caring person. I want to be someone who can be relied upon for their friendship. I don't want to be a negative person. I don't want to be serious all the time. And so I had to start molding myself into that person. I wanted to be a more open-minded person, because I wasn't very open-minded in my early 20s, right? I was very closed-minded for other personal reasons based on what we were taught, or, as I grew up. And so I've molded myself into the man I think I am. But does that mean that's who I am? You know what I mean? Like, I think I'm still growing. So that's part of evolution, I think.
But that comes from your core values also, okay? And also deep self-reflection. And that's what you did, it sounds like. Okay.
I have a quick question for you guys. And I think it's interesting because I think we're all guilty of this, and guilty not being the great word for it because I think it's a positive. But how much self-reflection or introspection do you think you do on a weekly basis?
Go ahead, T.
That's a kind of like a subconscious thing that I think we tend to do, not always realizing what we're doing with that. For me, I really can't say because I do it often without even really thinking about it. Because I'm oftentimes, I'll put it to you like this, and I tell my clients the same thing. Always look at yourself before you look at somebody else. Okay? And that's what I do oftentimes throughout the week. If something happens, something go wrong with me and somebody or so, I will look at myself and hold myself accountable and see what I can do naturally to change those things, to be better in those things, okay? And through that, once I changed myself, if the problem still goes on, everything, right? Then I know that it's not me, it's the other person.
Yeah, I don't think I'm really big on self-reflection. Like my entire life, I've focused on trying to be self-reflecting. But I won't say that I self-reflect all the time during the week. I would say that I self-reflect when situations arise, right? It's like when there's something happened with someone I'm talking to or my friends, I'm like, okay, what am I wrong? Like, what did I do to be part of this equation? And so I self-reflect for myself, and then I ask other people, I'm like, hey, so this is what happened, this is the situation. What is your perspective on that? Because I'm a firm believer that we don't know all the answers. It's just because we self-reflect does not mean that you've gotten the answer that you need. Right. And so you got to self-reflect, ask your friends, and hopefully find some kind of common truth. What about you, Elle? Do you self-reflect all the time in the week?
I do. And it's a conscious thought. Part of it is because I do journal. And so I kind of talked about that last week as something that I like to do. And so I do this thing. It's called one day at a time or one sentence at a time. So in my journal, each day of the month, there is one line, right? One line at a time. And so it's short. A line is very short when you're writing about your day, but it's just enough to check in and to focus on like what was important today. Or just even check in with yourself and say, sometimes I feel like, especially you guys know I'm getting over a depression. I think it's easy for us to recognize when we're having bad days. But I think sometimes it's much harder to recognize when you're having good days. Yeah. Especially consistent good days, right? When they're not like over the top amazing, right? When we have like an amazing day, we all know it. Yeah. When we have a bad day, even if it's a little bit bad, we know it. But I think we tend to lose focus on the good days. Just life is good. Nothing's going wrong. Everything is going as planned days. And so I like to journal. I like to be reflective at least once a day to say, you know what, today was a good day, So
yeah, I think that's very important. I think it's important to remember that just because you're having a bad moment does not mean you're having a bad life or that's going to be a bad life. It's just a bad moment, and it's not focused on that bad moment.
All right, so I have another question to go on this.
Let me say this. Sorry. Ask this real quick. You both made a good point in that. You just now said, Jay, about having a bad moment. Why do we allow our bad moments to end up being a bad day? So when you talk about having a bad day, sometimes we may have one thing in that day, a bad moment, like Jay mentioned, but we let it be our whole day. Why do we do that?
Hard to let go. It's hard to remove ourselves from that situation because we think about it over and over and over again. We relive that experience for the rest of the day instead of just removing ourselves from that situation and say, okay, that happened. Let me have a good day the rest of the time.
Yeah, I think actually this is what I was just about to say. I was like, when does yourself being natural? I think we're naturally self-reflective, the three of us. When does that bite you in the butt, right? And so for me, being very aware of like my feelings and my emotions and naturally being self-reflective, I can tend to overthink things. Or I can tend to let like a bad moment or a bad experience in the day, all of a sudden, because I'm thinking about it and trying to understand my part in it and their part in it, all of a sudden there's something that was a bad moment could end up being a bad day. So one of the negatives about being, naturally and super self-introspective is that at times you can it can force you to overthink situations.
Yeah, I read this book a few years ago that helped me with that situation. It's by Eckhart Tolle, and it's called A New Earth. And basically, when I found myself living in that bad moment, is to ask yourself, why am I really bothered by that moment? Right. Is it my ego that's hurting? Right. Or it's something that I need to address? Right. And if it's just my ego that's hurting, then I just let it go. I'm like, you know what? My ego is just bruised. It ain't that serious, and then I'm gonna move on and enjoy the rest of my day. But I do overanalyze things as well, and I think it's important to know when you're overthinking it. If you can't come up with a solution in that moment, it's just let it go.
Find your thing.
Yeah.
Like I drink wine constantly, right? But that's because not to toot my own horn, but I'm pretty smart. Which being smart is a benefit and a negative because my brain is constantly like shooting on all ends. And so a glass of wine normally chills me out so that I'm not overthinking, but I can easily go in the rabbit hole. And it's just about like everything. Like it's not negative necessarily, but I can just jump into one thing and be like 6 hours later still focused on it. And I mean, it helped me a lot in school, right?
Yeah.
It's definitely a benefit. But if it's a positive thing, it's great. But if it's a negative thing, well damn.
It's tough. Like I mentioned at the beginning of the show, I was in a little holiday funk. I was a little sad, and our friends can tell.
You know, it's so funny because I was reading that about you, but I didn't know if I was imprinting.
Oh, I got you. I see what you're saying.
Like, because I'm in a funk, so I was like, am I pushing my am I thinking he's in a funk because I'm in a funk? But I was like, I felt your like energy was lower.
Yeah, I had low energy. I was in a funk, and I realized that the other day. And just because I'm a self-help coach and I'm writing self-help, we're not immune to these high energy, low energies.
Wait, Jay, you writing self-help?
Of course I write in self-help.
What you mean?
What I mean is I have my second book coming out.
That's what we talking about.
On Saturday. So next Saturday.
Hold up. When is it coming out?
Actually, when this airs, it's Wednesday. So 2 days after you hear this moment, it would be out and available for purchase on Amazon.com.
And what's the name of it?
It is called Noesis.
Spell that for the people in the back.
Noeis, and it's called Empowering the God Within You. So basically, Noesis means trusting your own intellect, trusting your smarts, and just learning how to trust yourself and what you think about. And so the whole book is really about ownership. It's about taking ownership of your entire life.
How do I buy my hardback? Like, I want one and I want it signed.
Well, we're still working on the details for the hardback. But can
I get one signed, please, when we figure that out?
Absolutely. Actually, I will have my own private stock that if you're in the Tampa Bay area and you want to get one signed, actually online as well. So just working on the details for that. But right now, the main thing is please on Saturday, December 1st, go to Amazon, purchase the book. And when you purchase the book, take a picture with the book and hashtag it Noesis on social media so people can get the word out. This book is really, I let Bridget, I don't know, you remember Bridget, co-coach?
I love Bridget.
So Bridget wrote the foreword in the book.
Oh, dope.
And so she's the very first person to read the book. And she
didn't
loved it.
Ask me.
Let's
go on.
Actually, I did ask TJ.
When did you ask?
But we're gonna move on from that.
Oh, please! I don't recall this.
We're gonna move on from that. What were we?
You were talking about you being reflective because you write books like Noesis, December 1st.
So yeah, I mean, it's just being reflective. Sometimes you can definitely overthink, especially in the dating world, especially, it's like God. You start dating somebody and they don't do what they used to do. So you're like, okay, what did I do? Like, what's going on? And so I did tend to overthink. Oh, we're talking about being in the funk. I was in the funk.
Yeah.
And so for me, when I realized I'm in the funk, I just started playing my game. And so I played my game a lot the last couple of days because it takes my mind off everything else.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And so this morning I woke up and I just felt great. So I felt good.
I did too. Like, today's a good day, y'all. Let's do some good shit today.
T, go ahead.
No, I'm listening to you guys, and it coincides with a lot of, what you do and what I do also. Ooh. I would tell people to put together your personal growth along with your personal evolution, okay? Because as you grow personally, it helps you to evolve into the person that you're going to be, all right? Set those goals. Those goals are part of your personal growth. And then that will help you, as the word states, evolution, grow more into being that person. Not always what you want to be, but the person that you're growing into. Okay? And we understand that part right there. We'll realize that we'll become a better person overall in life.
At what age did you realize, this goes to both of you guys, at what age did you realize that you had to evolve in order to become a better person? Was there a moment in your life that happened? And Cypress, you can ask. I'm asking that question as well.
I have
Cypress.
to say my accident.
Yeah.
So I've talked about it previously, but I was bedbound for a year and was in a wheelchair, and it was my freshman year of high school. So everyone's going into freshman year, and I'm getting homeschooled, and I'm literally stuck in a bed all day. And when that situation happened, especially when you were active before, like I was always active, I was always popular. Going from that to like being a homebody and like just not being active at all. And then all your friends stop coming. Like, in the beginning, it's cool, but then they stop coming. Eventually, it forces you to redefine yourself. Because all you have is yourself at that point. I mean, you have your family too, but they have lives. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so that was the first time where I really had to be like, okay, I'm not Elle the dancer, because I used to be a dancer back then too, put hip hop.
So dancing is your life,
right? I'm not Elle the dancer. I'm not Elle, the popular girl. I'm not Elle like blah blah blah. So who am I?
Yeah. T?
If you mind, I want to save that part because that coincides with what I'm going to do for Toast for Wisdom.
Okay. Absolutely.
It really does, because I'm like, man, that goes right into that. So
All right,
let
so-
me hold off on that.
So for me, I remember clear as day. It was like, and it's weird because I'm not a Christian anymore. But in this moment when I was like 22, 21, living in my own place, I was sitting call it the stoop, sitting on the stoop with a couple of my homies, and I was just sitting there reflecting. I was like, man, I don't have a lot going on for me in my life right now. Like I don't have really any friends anymore. No one wants to really be around me. 'Cause I was always angry. I was upset. I was just a negative person. And I had just started getting involved back in the church. And I just remember seeing this positive black man on the pulpit just giving life and giving energy to someone. And with that moment, I said, you know what? I want to be like that. I want to, not necessarily him, but I want to be that image, that energy. And I just started changing my life and just growing and questioning everything to become a better person. So that moment changed. That moment on that stoop in Richmond, Virginia, changed my life. So
That's great.
Good.
I love that. Have you guys, okay, so I'm super conscious of myself, or maybe a little bit too conscious. Have you guys met people and just been dumbfounded with like their lack of self-knowledge? So I like challenged this person recently, a friend of mine, and he posted something about his baby mother, like dissing her on Instagram. And it was like one of those moments where I had to decide, like, am I going to be a real good friend or am I just going to take the easy road? And I decided I'm just going to challenge him on it. I was like, hey, you dissing or disrespecting, the mother of your child. I know we say baby mama, it's funny, but it does mean something. The mother of your child, you are in fact disrespecting your child. Like at the end of the day, the same way you feel about your mama getting dissed by anyone is the same way he going to feel about his mama getting dissed by anyone. And so I think it's really important for parents to be mindful of that and respectful of that. So I challenged him on it. And I was like, you're being petty. And he was like, I'm comfortable with that.
when did pettiness become like okay to be?
I don't know. It's like a glorified thing now.
It's okay to be funny with this every now and then.
Funny
but
petty is funny.
Yeah.
It's like a joke. It's being sarcastic.
Yeah.
But like people are being legit petty and they think that it is amusing or entertaining or like good. So what do you guys do in those situations with those experiences when someone who has no self-knowledge of themselves, do you make them aware? Do you let it pass? How do you do it?
I'm going to bring that into what we're talking about with the evolution. They haven't evolved to get past that point in their life.
Right.
Okay. So, no, I believe that you do, as a friend, talk to them about it, mention things to them, and if they can accept that from your friendship, okay, hopefully it'll make a change inside them to stop doing those same things right there. But if not, then you keep on moving on. You keep on evolving yourself. But people must learn to evolve. We don't always evolve we still think that sometimes our growth is something to evolve. No, because sometimes we grow not in the right way.
Yeah, and I think it's a fine line though between trying to show someone that they are not evolving the right way, especially online, right? Because people get so defensive online that they think that you're trying to online shame them. And so it's like, how do I have a conversation with someone about this interesting perspective that they're doing? So me, I try to take things offline behind the scenes. Other day I did a post. I said, I will never talk bad in public about my family, my previous family, my friends. No one needs to know what's going on. Like, I'm gonna deal with it offline. So a lot of times now, I see people that I know making comments that don't sit well online. Like, I won't address it online. I try to have a conversation behind the scenes, and that doesn't always go the right way.
I've seen that not go the right way for you.
Yeah, it does not always go the right way.
I've seen you try, like online, literally try to take it offline. Like, stop. Hey, I messaged you personally. Like, and then they still go, and then
I'm like, all right, fuck it. All right.
What do you always say?
I got time today. I got time today.
Let me tell you, if you ever see Jay say, I got time today, you need to make time that day because he about to go in and it's finna be entertaining.
I just think communication is important no matter who you are involved with. And so if someone, like you said earlier, everyone has not evolved there yet, and that's important to realize. It's important to realize when they aren't there and just to move on. It's
weird because like not everyone's religious, but like Christianity has this thing about being equally yoked. And it's one of those things where as I get older, I start understanding it better. So the same thing as like birds of a feather flock together, or dogs hunt in packs, or like all these sayings that we've always heard before, where it's like the people you surround yourself, you end up being like, or
absolutely
showing.
Oh yeah.
And so, how do you guys feel with being with people you recognize are not focused on personal evolution? Right, they're not necessarily evolving at the same speed and capacity as you. Knowing that birds of a feather flock together, right? You tend to take on the attributes of the 5 people you spend the most time with, right? So how do you guys deal with that?
Well, I think something that you and I both have a philosophy that we're taking on, Elle, is that you have to accept people for where they are,
Jesus,
right?
Yes.
And so when I have friends that are in my circle who aren't evolving, or even family that's not evolving, who continue to do the same thing, make the same mistakes, I kind of just pull back. I'll pull back, and they ask me why. I'm like, look, like some of the things you're doing, I don't agree with anymore. Like I'm not saying that you aren't on my level. I'm just not part of that anymore. But we can do other things together, right? And so I guess I'm not really big on trying to force other people to evolve with me. Like you don't have to be on my frequency in order. If you can't hear me, you can't hear me. But I'm gonna accept you where you are.
I use mine in a little bit more different terms. It's very much similar to what Jay is saying also. I call it planting seeds in people. So I'll plant seeds of wisdom inside of them without telling them what to do.
TJ, stop making this about sex, all right? Listen, I told you about this.
Ooh, girl.
Okay, we can only have so many children running around.
I want to say something so bad, but I don't want to show this other side of me, man.
TJ out here planting seeds, y'all.
Okay.
I gotta be. Send us an email at All Tea No Shade Podcast. We might be able to plant his seed in you.
No. Plant you a seed.
You might be able to get a seed planted.
Plant you a seed in 2018.
No, really, it's planting seeds of wisdom. Wisdom, not kids.
That's what we calling it now.
Kidsdom.
Well, some people need
kidsdom.
But I ain't gonna get there with that. Okay, so as I was saying, planting seeds of wisdom. Don't start with me, yo. Okay, so let me say this real quick. I'm sorry. You plant seeds of wisdom, and every once in a while, I'd like you step back, but you still water it from time to time. You still touch on that conversation. You still touch on that point. Hopefully, eventually, that seed will grow in that person. And a lot of times, I've noticed this. We have to remember, it's not in our time. It's in their time when they're able to and they're ready to accept it.
Absolutely. When you decided it was time to evolve, were you ever worried about what your friends and family would think? If so, why? Like, okay, I'm evolving, but I'm not sure if my family is going to agree with me.
I love this Jay-Z quote. Do you know, like, I can't say it verbatim. I just always know the theory, which is like, I've worked too hard to be the same. It's like you should be, people always are quick to say, oh, you changed up or you switched up. But it's like, I hope to God that I switched up. You know what I mean? I hope to God that, this is the whole thing of personal evolution is wanting or needing to change. And you can either change for the good or change for the bad. Change is going to happen. It's happening. So you can decide how you want it to happen, either for the good or for the bad. And so I have run into situations where I have, quote unquote, changed. But for me, that was me evolving. And that causing a lot of friction with people I'm in relationships with, or even my friendships where it's like, oh girl, you don't want to come out to the club every night, you know? No, I got some goals I'm trying to knock out, or, you know, hey, you know, let's go do A, B, and C. And I'm like, well, you know, this is what I'm trying to do every day at this time, right? And so I think there is a little bit of a tension that happens with your people in your life when you start evolving, because once again, not everyone evolves at the same speed and pace.
Man, I got to share this little quick story.
Oh yes,
And
I love
it goes
TJ
with
stories.
this. When I was young, I used to model. And I remember I was doing a fashion show at this big place in Baltimore. Behave yourself. So I went there. Me and a buddy of mine named Phil, we went to do the show. And there was a young lady there named Mimi. Mimi was a beautiful young lady, great at the profession. She was real good model. And I hadn't seen Mimi in over a year. So we used to sit here and see each other and date. And when we seen each other, she was like, you know, I went there, it's the same old me, you know, having fun with everybody, joking, all this and all that. But she said, TJ, you're still the same. And I said, thanks, what's up, girl? You know, I'm always be this way. This is me. But I really didn't realize what she was saying to me. So the whole time, I'm still being the immature me, not realizing that. And she had already matured past that. So that night, I laid down, I remember clearly, laying down in bed. And I was like, what the hell does she mean?
Yeah.
I'm still the same.
Self-reflecting at the moment.
And this goes back to what you asked earlier. I'm sorry, I want to share that story, but I'm going to bring it in right now. And it had me think about, damn, am I really growing? Am I really evolving? And it was at that moment, I remember clearly, that I said that, you know, I didn't like what she said. I was offended by that.
Yeah.
You know, but I didn't realize really what she said helped me to evolve and grow even more. You know, so those things happen. She planted the seed.
You planted the seed. Sometimes people, all it takes is one word from someone else to say, oh man, like, I got to get my shit together because I'm getting left, not necessarily left behind, but I'm not evolving. I'm not getting better. And I guess my thing is, can you evolve even if you're not trying to evolve? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
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 I think you can. I think some people aren't focused on the future. They're focused on the now. So they're not worried about who they're going to become in terms of evolution. But they have guiding principles in their life, like being kind and being honest and being loyal. And I think if you live your life by those guiding principles, even if you're not self-reflective or self-introspective, that's not a word, but I'm creating one.
We're going to make it one.
Okay,
good
thank
word.
y'all. Thank
I like
y'all.
that.
Right? But if you're none of those things, if you live your life in those guiding principles, then you will evolve, whether or not you choose to.
Yeah, you're still taking in things. Even though, you're still growing. You may not have fully come out of that box yet. But you're still taking things in to help you to grow inside of there. Okay, and then once you reach a certain point, you'll blow up out of that box. You'll grow. That box is not big enough for you anymore. Okay, you do evolve.
Yeah, I agree. I think that you evolve even if you're not trying. I think the things you watch, the things you listen to, the people that you are surrounded by, I think they will help you evolve even if you're not trying to evolve. Because even if you're trying to be like them, like you're not saying, well, I ain't thinking about evolving. I just want to be like them. I want to travel like the way they travel. Like I want to have money the way they have money.
Yeah.
So you're evolving even though you're not actually thinking about trying to evolve.
Yeah, I think the one thing that's constant or a given is that you are going to change. And so I think the whole thing with personal evolution is you either are going to be the decider of how you change, or you're just going to let your circumstances determine how you change. But you're going to change. So we are all going to evolve no matter what. And if you evolve for the good or you evolve for the bad, it depends on you.
I have a question for you guys. Does personal evolution ever stop?
Does personal evolution ever stop? For me, I don't think it will ever stop, which is kind of sucks because that's the question I've always asked myself. When is enough enough? Like, when do you just say, you know what? I'm happy with where I am. And that's nothing wrong with that. To get to a point where you're like, you know what? I think I'm good. Like, it's like a job, right? It's like you get a job, you say, oh, I want to make $50,000 a year. So you grind, you get to $50,000. Oh, now I want to make $60,000 a year. Oh, I want a higher job. We keep setting goal after goal after goal. And you find yourself 70 years old still working, whatnot. When is enough is enough. Like, I think at some point you probably will feel like you've reached your pinnacle. But maybe, like we just said, maybe you never stop, no matter what.
Yeah.
No, I
Okay.
think once again, change is inevitable. We change every single day. And so every day you're deciding if you're going to change for the good or for the bad. So I think personal evolution, continuous improvement happens until the day you die.
I like that. No, we don't. And because a lot of times we become who we are for that moment. But then also moments change. And then we sometimes evolve even more for other moments in our life. Okay? Just like what you're talking about, when does it ever stop with wanting more? You know, so change doesn't stop. So we shouldn't ever stop. We should get comfortable to a certain point because we do need, like you said, you mentioned about the money and so forth, yes, but change, things in life don't stop. It never does.
Can't
So you must
stop, won't
continue
stop.
growing and evolving.
I don't know
Go
that
ahead,
song. The universe never stops. The universe continues to evolve, continue to change. So
There
the
you go.
universe changing, why should we?
There you
All
go.
right.
All right, guys. So that is it for the sip of the day.
The main sip is
I
done.
enjoyed it, man. That was a good sip.
All right. So before we switch over to Toast to Wisdom, I think we have another sponsorship.
Yeah, so December 1st, I would like the tippers to know that Jay Noetic, one of the co-hosts here of All Tea No Shade, I do have my book coming out, Noesis, on December 1st. And I would love for all the sippers to go and get the book because I definitely believe the book will help your life evolve, right? Like if you're trying to evolve, this whole episode is about personal evolution. So if you're trying to evolve, this book will help you to evolve in a positive way.
I have a question for you. I'm not big on expectations, but kind of like with the book coming out, what should I look for in the book to get something out of it? Is there anything in particular I should look for before I really expect anything from the book?
I would say that expect authentic, real conversations.
I like that.
And so everything that I put in that book, both of you know me, I'm a very honest person. And it's all about my spiritual growth and as well as your spiritual growth. And so what I included in this book, I don't know, for those of you who have not read my first book, The Unbelievable Truth, I put a lot of my own personal story in that book, my personal life.
That was a good book.
Thank
I
you.
enjoyed
Thank
that.
you. This book really has nothing about me in it. It's all about helping the reader. And so I put quotes, my own quotes, in each cognition. So they're not called chapters in this book. They're called cognition. So each cognition.
Oh, you fancy?
That's right.
Look at him.
So
Look
each
at him.
cognition.
He been sipping too much.
That's that cognac. sip.
That's
That
that
is.
Hennessy. That's that Hennessy. Now, so each cognition basically has one of my quotes, and then how you can apply that quote to your life.
Okay.
And so it's I honestly, the first book was my baby, but this one is 10 times better.
I'm excited. All right, let's go to our Toast to Wisdom. TJ.
Why you gonna sound like that? Actually, you know what? I'm dedicating this toast of wisdom to L, just for you.
No,
Then.
I deny it.
Too late. Can I get to my little part?
No.
Thank
Oh,
She-
you just look so
she
cute.
rebuked it.
You're
She
like, can I get to my
rebuked it.
little part? Oh, yes, okay. Go ahead, boo.
you. No, actually.
Toast to wisdom.
Toast
by
to wisdom.
T-
Get your
by
cups
Velvet,
up. Get
by
some glasses
Velvet
up.
Jones.
Tink, tink. That's right.
By
Thank you.
Velvet Jones.
Velvet
Toast to
Jones.
wisdom.
All right.
By
Hey,
Pip Tyrone.
every week I want to present to everybody a little bit of wisdom to help you throughout the week and help you in your life, okay? Especially as what I'll show for the day for your personal evolution. Today, my toast to wisdom is grow out of you to grow into you. Let me say that again. Grow out of you to grow into you.
That's what my ex-boyfriend used to do.
Oh, I just got that. Wow.
Oh, man. I'm trying to be serious and she
Sorry, focus. I'm
Wow.
3 inches. So as I was saying, actually, a good friend of mine, he really helped mentor me in my life. His name was Charles Campbell. And he was an older guy, but he always would just, when I had problems with girls and other things, my career in the fire department stuff, he would just laugh at me a lot of times. And I was like, why are you laughing? He said, I'm not laughing at you. I'm really laughing with you. Okay. And I learned to laugh about a lot of my things in life. But he said
Yeah.
to me, he said, sometimes you have to stop getting in your own way. Okay. Let go of pride and ego in order for you to grow. And I didn't fully get that concept back then, but I love it, planting seeds of wisdom. And he planted that in me, and as I got older and as I evolved, it really set into me. So what it meant to me was for me to help better myself. I was getting in my own way with my own growth in life with my pride and ego. When I was able to let go of that pride and ego, I really developed a lot more in life. So any way you want to take this, I'll repeat it again, grow out of you to grow into you. Utilize it. Let it be useful for you in your life. Okay. Those are the words from the toast of wisdom for this week.
Hey, I like it. We do that pride and ego, man. It definitely can hold you back for a long time.
Amen. All right, you guys. Since we're at our favorite, what's your ish?
What's your
ish? What's your ish?
I don't know if I
ish?
even
got
chose
my
a what's your
ish.
ish this week.
All right.
Can I go first?
Yes,
Yeah,
you
go
may.
first.
I'm excited about this. Actually, I do this every week, especially with this time of the year being the holiday time. It's important to support small local businesses.
Definitely.
And I do this. I've been doing this for quite some time. But every week I take $20, and I make sure that every week I go to a small local business and spend that $20 inside of there. So that's my ish for this week. Everybody, don't just do it for the holiday time. Even after the holiday time, do this on your own. Support small local businesses, okay? Because they could always use the help for them to grow, as well as support friends also who have businesses as well.
Absolutely.
Okay.
That's so important.
So come out this week and support Jay's book. Get that? It's called Noesis. I'm sorry,
Noesis.
Put
That's
that plug
right.
inside of
That's
it.
right.
We gotta
Nice plug.
support him.
Nice plug.
He's a good guy. Okay, but that is my ish. Supporting small and local businesses.
Hey, I like it. All right, my ish this week is SimCity.
SimCity.
I'm obsessed.
Well, you've been obsessed with that for a
SimCity,
long
I
time.
know.
Though.
I
That's
can't
your
stop.
thing.
I literally can't stop. I love The Sims.
That was old back in the day. So
Well,
it's still back up again?
Well, they
You play it on your phone now, right?
Yeah, you play it on your phone. It's an app now.
Right. They've been out.
And-
Okay.
Oh, it's like a new updated app. It's amazing.
seen
Can you not like
You-
crap on my ish?
You crapped on my toast of wisdom.
I did not crap on it at all.
They sound like a little married couple right now. Like they just bickering.
Whatever.
So your ish is The Sims.
It is SimCity.
I used to
app.
love SimCity.
It's fun. You just build a city. You get to make it look like you.
I took her energy.
You took my energy all
I'm
the way.
sorry.
Go ahead, Jay.
Do they have sex on SimCity?
No, they do not. It's
So
all
what are you
about-
building in your Sim City? What are you building?
I won't talk about it no
A
more.
library?
I'm done with you.
No, tell us. What
Oh,
is-
seriously.
'cause I like games. So what is?
Jared,
L.
what's your ish?
Get out of your way, okay? I'm gonna bring my wisdom in. So go ahead, Jay.
So I don't necessarily have an ish this week.
What?
No, I don't really have one. But I'm trying to think of what I've been doing all week. I would say, I don't even know, friendships, man. Like just being around good people. When you aren't feeling your best, it's good to be around other energy.
True.
Good to be around
True.
people who just want to talk to you, be around you, have fun. And so I would say that's probably my ish. I don't really have one, but my friendships are very important to me. And so that'll be my ish this week.
Can I say something this week?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, say something. Right now it's early in the morning. We all got together here at 8 o'clock this morning to do the show. And we still have so much energy today. It felt good being around, as you mentioned, friends.
Yeah.
It felt so good being around these guys this morning. So
Great
Elle
way
had
to
some-
start
Elle had
Sunday.
some good coffee, so that's my sip for today. Thank you, Elle.
Hey.
She got the energy. Don't look at me like
Don't be
that.
nice to me now. All right, guys. Make sure that you are adding us, sharing us, checking up on us, and sliding in our DMs. You can do so on our Facebook page, All Tea No Shade, on our IG, All Tea No Shade Podcast, on our email at allteanoshadepodcast@gmail.com, or you can send us a text or leave us a voicemail at 646-481-2368. That's 646-481-2368. Add us, share us.
Please,
Yes.
please.
All right,
Enjoy
you
us.
guys. I think we are down to our final
The
sip.
final sip.
I think for the month of November, we're doing who we are thankful for. So, who
We
are you
can.
thankful for this week?
I would
still
say
November,
it's
right?
still November.
Yeah.
I will say that I am thankful for All Tea No Shade podcast.
Oh,
That's what I'm
That's what's
thankful
up.
for, because All Tea, you guys give me opportunity to do something different in my life, to break the monotony of going to work every day, and it's good to just voice opinions and just talk. Good conversation definitely helps, and so. I think we're 10 months into doing All Tea No Shade. It's been a very interesting year
interesting.
of doing this on a weekly basis. It is definitely a time commitment. It is something that you have to plan for if you ever think about doing a podcast. It's work, but I have enjoyed it,
Yeah.
and it's been good. And so I'm thankful for All Tea No Shade and where we're going in the future.
Okay. Elle?
I am thankful for, I kind of said it already, my weekly check-in, which is my family. Like, I feel
Yeah.
so, like, I felt so grateful, and appreciative and blessed. Like
Blessed.
sometimes it's really important to stop and really appreciate like the people who are really with you. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Who like really have your back. And so my family, my mom, my dad, my brother, they like have my back. I don't even have to question it. And I was driving away and I was just like, you know, I'm really, really blessed. So definitely this week is them.
Bless up.
All right. I can't say the person's name.
Okay.
The person wanted to stay anonymous, but when I was going through one of the hardest times in my life, I had basically 4 great female friends of mine who were there and supportive for me. But a little bit later on, I had this one good friend of mine who was just still there supporting me in different ways. And I really, really appreciated her support, her friendship. And she never asked for nothing more from me. And as I got myself in a better position, I made sure that this year I did something for her. Okay?
Nice.
And she was very much surprised by it, and it even brought tears to her eyes. But I just want to say thank you. I love you. And you being there for me was very much appreciated, and I will never forget it.
Appreciation's important, y'all.
So I got one more final sip.
Ooh, another extra final sip.
So how do y'all feel about this missionary who went to the island who got killed? He went to this isolated island. Is it Sentali? How do you say it? The name of the island?
Oh, man, I forgot the name of it. Yeah, but I knew what you're talking about.
And so this guy went to the island that's severely isolated. It's illegal to go there. And
it's illegal or legal?
Illegal to go. It's off the Indian coast there, and the tribesmen there killed him once he got there. And so people are like, a lot of people are saying the tribesmen aren't at fault, and I agree, they're not at fault for that. But they're trying to figure out how to get his body. Have you seen the reports on this?
No, I haven't seen this.
Oh, man.
Really?
Yes, you got to see that. Let me say a little bit about that. First of all, he was already told not to go there. They're not supposed to get within 5
Sentinelese.
miles.
That's-
Yes, Sentinelese. They're not supposed to get within 5 miles of the island. Okay, these are natives there. They've been there for so long. They're still hunter-gatherers, basically.
Yeah.
And he knew this. But on his own, he went to venture out to there to try to bring the gospel, the word of Christ to them.
He tried to bring the word of Christ
All
to
right,
them. Yep.
but you're already forewarned, okay? Do I feel sorry for him? No. And I have to say it because
I don't feel sorry for him either. I don't
You were
feel sorry
told,
for him.
don't do this.
Yeah.
It reminded me of the Bible with Adam and Eve. So we didn't get into all that either. She told him don't do something. She did it anyhow, right? But either way, he was told don't do so. He went there. That's what happened, okay? So if they can find a way to get his body, of course the family want the body of their kid, I mean, of their family.
Do they? I don't know if they.
Yes, they do.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, of course they want that.
They're not
And
going to
that's
be able to get it though. They can't.
But
They can't because they say that if we go there, obviously since they've been isolated for so long
Right.
that their bodies are not immune to the same germs and
right.
diseases that we currently have in our body.
Right.
So if we go there, then we are risking wiping their entire tribe
Exactly.
out. So I don't know if
It
he can
is
do
what it is.
Yeah, I think it's a done
It
deal.
is what it is. But yeah, you should read up on that, Aldous. It was really interesting about all this.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think you take that risk. If you were told repeatedly not to go and you decided despite people telling you not to go and despite the law that you were going to go, then you obviously go at your own risk. And I mean, I don't think that the tribesmen should be at all penalized.
No way. No way.
You know, this guy decided to do it on his own.
All right.
All right, you guys, with that, I'm going to call this Sip Session done.
Holla.
Blessings.